What's up guys, it's Sully and today I'm making a short video to show you how to get overpowered quickly in Dark Souls Remastered. Our goal is to get to the Black Knight in the Darkroot Basin that has a chance to drop his Black Knight Halberd. You may need to remake your character several times in order to get him to drop it. It only takes about 6 or 7 minutes to fight your way to him, so that's not really a problem. Once he drops this weapon, we need to go through a few more steps in order to get enough souls so that we can increase our strength to 22 and our dexterity to 18, which are the minimum requirements to wield that weapon in two hands. Assuming we go through all these steps and get that weapon equipped, we are immediately overpowered, and we now have a weapon that we can use in the entirety of our journey through this game. So what you'll need to do is start a new character and give them any name of your liking. You want the gender to be whatever you care it to be. Class, you want to choose the warrior. For a starting gift, pick the master key. Physique, face, hair, or whatever you prefer. Once you have all of that done, go ahead and accept and skip the cutscenes and you'll appear in the Undead Asylum. Essentially what we are going to do from the start is unequip everything. The reason we do that is because we want to keep our equip load under 25%. I find that that is a priority for me for the entirety of my playthroughs. When you're under 25% equipment load, you can run and roll quickly, and I think that additional agility is far more valuable than any benefits that armor might give you that would weigh you down to make you move and roll more slowly. So just go ahead and head through the linear path and make your way up and through the first set of double doors into the area where we encounter the Undead Asylum. We of course are not equipped to engage him yet, so we'll make our way through the door on the left and then down a hallway to where we get our starting shield and sword. The reason I do choose the warrior class is because it has the highest starting strength and dexterity, meaning that is less points we're going to need there in order to get enough to wield our Black Knight Halberd. The heater shield has 100% physical reduction, which means you can block physical attacks and not take any damage. That's going to be helpful against the Black Knight as we try to backstab him off of the ledge in the Darkroot Basin. So once you get your sword and shield, go ahead and equip them. Feel free to two-hand your weapon now. There's nothing worth blocking. The boss definitely cannot have any of his attacks blocked by a shield. Make your way partway up this stair, and a ball will roll down and break into this cell where we can talk to Oscar of Astora. Simply tell him yes to receive the Estus Flask and the key to the door upstairs. Run upstairs, dispatch this undead, and unlock the door. There's a couple more hollow enemies out here that we need to engage before we can fight the boss. First one is right around the corner. Second one will come at you once he sees you. I kind of try to kite him back so I don't get shot with arrows while I'm waiting to kill them. I'll just run up and blast this guy, and now I'm ready to engage the Asylum Demon. So go through the fog door. You want to just walk straight off of here and then use RB to do a plunging attack on this enemy that'll take off about half of his health. From here I like to roll through his legs and get behind him, and now my goal is to stay behind him. Behind him it's safe, or at least safer than in front of him. As long as you can kind of stay behind him and between his legs, none of his attacks will hit you. Then you just have to hit him, I think it's 7 or 8 times to kill him. And as simple as that, he's dead. Once he's dead, you'll receive the Big Pilgrim's Key that can be used to unlock this door so we can exit the asylum. We are now ready to run to the end of this cliff so we can be transported to Firelink Shrine. As soon as you pass this first wall, though, you want to make your way around to the left and get a Soul of a Lost Undead, which can be consumed for 200 souls. We do need to gather about, I don't know, 6,000 or 8,000 souls, maybe more, in order to be able to level up enough to use the Black Knight Halberd. So once you have that, head to the end of the cliff and skip your 2 cutscenes. You'll appear in Firelink Shrine. First thing you want to do here is turn around and pick up this item on the corpse hanging over the well. That'll give you 3 humanities. Might as well sit at this bonfire. That'll give you 10 Estus Flasks. We're going to consume the now 4 humanities that we have because they will increase our item discovery, which is the stat that Gives you an extra chance or a better chance of finding loot on enemies that you kill. Since the Black Knight Halberd is a random drop, I believe it's about a 1 in 5 chance to drop. So any extra item discovery is beneficial. Consume the 4 humanities, that'll take you from 100 to 173. Make your way to the left after you exit the lift and drop down to find another consumable soul item. And then follow the steps down. Head over to the other tower on the right and make your way up these steps, and you can use the master key to unlock an otherwise impassable door. Pick up this first soul item as you exit the new Londo and enter Valley of Drakes. Cross the small wooden bridge and now follow this linear path. This is going to be the one somewhat precarious part of this run to the Black Knight. You're going to cross this rope and wooden bridge, and you'll see a undead dragon in the distance. He's guarding a couple of items. If you try to pick up either of these first 2 items, he will wake up and kill you, so ignore those, but pick up the second, or I guess the third item, which is a Soul of a Proud Knight, and that one's important because it consumes for 2,000 souls. After you pick that up, go ahead and start running further along the path. You'll see some blue enemies in the distance. These Drake enemies are extremely dangerous. I get out my shield, although it's not really necessary. And at this point, you want to start running straight for this enemy and stick to the right wall, and then jump right as he spits lightning. It should allow you to get past and run beyond him. It's possible that you get twisted or tangled up with him in his tail, but if you're careful, you can just wriggle away. Make your way further down the path and head up this hill to the right. It'll lead into an opening on a stone structure that will lead to another lift. Go ahead and activate the lift and make your way up into the Darkroot Basin. At the top of this lift, we're going to find a run through a cave that has a bonfire. We need to light and rest at that bonfire. In the off chance that the Black Knight outside kills us, we can restart right here and we won't have to run all the way back from Firelink Shrine. Once you rest here, simply head out into the cliffside and be ready to engage the Black Knight, who can potentially drop his halberd. Okay, so I had to do an edit there because the knight did not drop his halberd, so I simply quit the game, deleted that character, created a new character, and ran back here, and I'm ready to try again. So as soon as I exit this cave, the knight will be on my right. You can see there's a ledge there directly in front of me. I want to try to guide him near that ledge, get him to attack me in such a way that he ends up facing the ledge and I can do a backstab on him and kick him off. It would take far too long to kill him with damage. So this is why we do it this way. So sometimes it's quick, sometimes it takes a little bit longer. I got him right there pretty much first try and kicked him off, and with a little luck, we'll get the Black Knight Halberd. And there it is. He'll always drop a chunk. He can sometimes drop the halberd or his shield, so we'll jump for joy because we're happy. So again, if you did not get that weapon to drop, you're going to want to start a new character and do the same process over and over again until you get it. It's just going to make your life so much easier. And it's fun. It's fun to play with a weapon that's powerful, so that's why we get it to start with. Run down this little ramp and get the Grass Crest shield. This is the best shield in the game. The reason it's good for us is that we're never really going to use it as a shield. It's just going to sit on our back like this, and it gives you increased stamina regeneration as long as you have it equipped. So now we need to make our way up these winding slopes, and we have a few more things we need to do before we can equip this Black Knight Halberd. Our goal now is to make our way up into the Darkroot Garden, and we need to kill the Moonlight Butterfly, and we're far too weak to do that, but we can summon the NPC witch Beatrice, and she will do all the work for us. Now here you have a couple different ways to go. You want to take the middle of 3 paths, so you can jump across to an item on a ledge. This is going to give us some armor that we don't need, but more importantly, the longbow that we'll use eventually. I always use it to help kill the Bed of Chaos, really just for aiming, so I can throw fire bombs. But also, you need to turn a bow into a boss weapon for Knight's Honor, so we'll have that and not have to worry about finding one later. As you round this corner, you'll see a crystal lizard on the ground. We need to kill this. It will drop us 2 Twinkling Titanites. We ultimately need 10 Twinkling Titanite to upgrade the Black Knight Halberd to +5, which is its maximum upgrade. We will end up killing 5 crystal lizards in the process, 1 here, 1 in the Undead Burg, and 3 in the Great Hollow. If a crystal lizard disappears on you before you kill it, you can use your menus to quit the game. When you reload your game, the crystal lizard will be there, and hopefully you can kill it then. And you can repeat that process as many times as it takes until you kill it. So now we'll continue on up the path. And this will, not too far from here, dump us into the Darkroot Garden. The path will split. We could head left to the Undead Parish, to Blacksmith Andre. But immediately you want to head right and run right past these forest enemies. There's 3 of them total. And there's a hidden bonfire up at the end of this path that we need to break a illusory wall to get to. But we're also going to have to save and exit our game to get these enemies to stop following us. When we save and exit and then reload the game, those enemies will be back at their initial starting locations and not hostile to us. So here is the bonfire. I cannot interact with it because of nearby enemies, but I'll quit and continue, and that'll put me right in that same spot, put the enemies back at their spawn locations, and I'll be able to interact with this bonfire. We need to save at this bonfire. It's not incredibly important. Well, I mean, I guess it is because we have to reverse hollowing, but we'll also be able to homeward bone to it after we kill the butterfly and save us some backtracking. So I will reverse hollowing with one of my 4 humanity in my counter. That'll turn me human and allow me to summon Witch Beatrice, so I can have her kill the Moonlight Butterfly for me. We would need an item from Andre that costs 20,000 souls to open this door eventually. It's not important now. But what you want to do is head down this path. Eventually you will reach a fog door that you can just go right through. And you need to stay to the left as you run through this area. Kind of stick to where these lit up flowers are. If you go too far to the right, you'll aggro a bunch of dangerous enemies. So follow the path of lights. And then now follow along the cliffside. You'll see some stone structures on the right. Curve around them. And you need to pass by quickly by this knight enemy who is just now waking up. And if you get all the way into this corner where the bushes are, he won't follow you in. And you need to summon Witch Beatrice. Now if I turn around, you'll see that that knight is awake, but he is not hostile to me. He's just sort of chilling right there. So what I want to do is have Beatrice come in, and she can one-shot that enemy. Sometimes she does it with little difficulty. Sometimes she has problems getting kind of hung up on this sloped wall here. And that enemy can come in and kill us, and we don't want that. So if there's any sort of problems engaging this enemy, just run up the stairs. Don't hang around to see if he gets killed. So I inch my way over to these rocks, and you'll see Witch Beatrice, as soon as she sees them, will do this action. Now you see there she is getting hung up on the walls, which is no good. So I'm going to try to lead her kind of away from the wall, and this should do it right here. There we go. She one-shotted him. That gets us 720 souls, and we need those souls really to have enough to level up to use the weapon. So we'll run up to the top here. We'll go out and engage the Moonlight Butterfly. Really quickly before we go through, I'll just mention a couple of things. You can see it's up there on its perch. It's going to fly down onto the bridge where we will engage it. Ultimately, what you need to do is kind of stay as close to it as you can, because the closer you are to it, the more likely Beatrice is to attack it, and we need her to kill it. We can essentially do no damage to it. Now, it'll fire a couple of different types of attacks at us. It'll fire bursts of like magical spikes that you can block or try to roll through. She'll fire like a slow tracking magical projectile that you want to definitely roll through. And then she'll eventually land on the bridge if you haven't killed her yet, and you can run up and start attacking her. Now, you won't do very much damage to it, but unfortunately, when it's landed on the bridge, Beatrice doesn't have an angle to shoot it with magic. And after a few seconds, you see it start to glow, and it'll do an area explosion that you want to get away from. So with that said, we'll go ahead and start the engagement. I'll go through, and it actually might not be a bad idea to equip some gear here so you can have some maybe magic resistance. Not really necessary, but you just want to get close to this butterfly. Now this you want to roll through when it comes by. That can do a lot of damage. Those are the exploding spikes. You can just block those. I want to roll out of the way of that because that'll hit for a lot of damage. And again, I'm just trying to stay close to the butterfly so Beatrice will continue to engage it. She has a habit of losing focus if it gets too far away. Now here it is, it's going to land. She missed it there. Now look, I'm doing 25 damage per attack, which is nothing. Now I'm going to get away before it explodes. She's going to whack at it like a fool and take some damage. And then it's going to take back off and we'll just repeat this process. If it does fly over the top of you, you want to run away because it'll drop a bomb from directly above on you that does pretty heavy damage. And Beatrice is kind of taking a long time to kill this thing. I gotta tell you, I'm not liking the way this is going. Now you want to get away. The bomb that it kind of dropped went flying away, and there we go, Beatrice has killed it. So I think I get 10 or 12,000 souls from that, in addition to the soul of the Moonlight Butterfly. And what I want to do is run to the opposite exit and take the stairs up to the top of the tower. And there will be like some sort of a dead or stone or maybe just a statue of a blacksmith with an item I can loot. It'll have a key, an ember, and a homeward bone. I need to use this homeward bone, and that'll take me back to my last bonfire. And now we are ready to equip the Black Knight Halberd. So what I need to do here is use all of my soul items. You want to be careful not to accidentally consume your Moonlight Butterfly soul because you do need that for making weapons for the Knight's Honor achievement. So there we go. That's going to put me up at almost 20,000 souls. I think I need about 18,000 and change. So we'll sit down at the bonfire and I will level up. Strength needs to go to 22. Dexterity needs to go to 18. I have enough for one more level. I will put that in Vitality since my health is very low, having put all of my points into Strength and Dexterity. Now, I can go into my equipment, choose the Black Knight Halberd. I'll get a notification that I have insufficient strength to use it one-handed, but I can hold it with both hands. And you can see it's X'd out one-handed, but now it is active as a two-handed weapon. So now I'm unable to get my equipment load under 25%, which is 13 with the sword, the weapon and the shield equipped. So I can go up to 26 now and still be under 50%. So let me see, I think I can I'll equip the glove and the boots. And I'm going to be at medium roll now instead of fast roll, but we're going to do a couple of things to rectify this situation. We need to get the Ring of Favor from Lautrec and Havel's Ring from Havel, but in the interim we'll have this 50% medium roll, which isn't terrible. I'm going to get that soul item before I head back up into the Undead Burg by coming down this path that led to the Moonlight Butterfly. And there's 3 of these bush enemies that don't wake up until I pick up that item, so I'll just whack them in the ground if I can kill them. There we go. And then now I can pick up my soul item, and now I can head back to the Undead Parish where we can start doing some other things to help with our progress. I'm going to encounter, of course, some of these bush enemies in the way. Ideally, they will drop some mosses for me. We would like to get some purple moss to cure poison for when we go to the Darkroot, or to the Blighttown. Somehow missed that, not sure. Blood Red Moss Clump is worthless in my opinion because the bleed mechanic really isn't that big of a deal. You want to be careful not to fall off of this cliff right here. And now there's just one more enemy for us to engage before we get back into the Undead Parish area. And here we are. Now we've gone completely out of our way by the path we've taken, as opposed to normal progression through the game to kind of end up here. This Titanite demon can be very dangerous. You want to give it a wide berth. Come far around the side. It shouldn't be able to hit you. If you just run full speed, it may or may not shoot its lightning at you, but it shouldn't hit you. We have no business with Andre right now, so I'll come upstairs to the Undead Parish bonfire, where I will rest. I'll kindle this bonfire up to 10. And our next step is going to be headed up into the Undead Parish, and then activating the shortcut back to Firelink Shrine.